Okay, we are here with Camas City Council member Steve Hogan, who has been working behind the scenes for many months with the city, the county, state departments, as well as state elected officials to work to get an agreement to get Lacamas Lake cleaned up. Now, Councilman Hogan, what is the status right now?
Right now we're in the process of working between the staffs and the attorneys for both Clark County and the City of Camas to come up with an interlocal agreement that'll lay out who's responsible for what. Basically what the City of Camas is interested now in trying to take control of or lead on is the water quality. That's what we're trying to focus on. Specifically, algae's been a huge problem and we want to address that, but the overall water quality is what the City Council appears to really want to get their hands on and work on moving forward.
So Steve, why now? This has been a problem for many years. What is the reason we're doing this now?
Well, there's been a shift over the last few years. The Camas paper mill, and originally the paper mill that was established by the Pittock family has had control over the operation of the dam and the lake. And Lacamas Lake wasn't for years even in the city limits of Camas. So we've basically taken control of all of the land within the city now around the lake. And the paper mill is backing away from using any of the water from this lake in their operations. So Clark County was overseeing the water quality when the paper mill was using the water.
It was an industrial lake at the time, right?
It was an industrial lake, correct. And now it's no longer considered an industrial lake. The City of Camas owns the dam, and we own the former ditch that used to lead down to the paper mill. So now it's time to make a change. And we are trying to work with the scientists that were involved with the county. They're on the staff at the county. We want to get them working with our staff as we begin to move forward at looking at where the science was and where we need to move in the future so that the water quality is available at a high level of cleanliness for people to recreate here.
So Steve, what are the factors contributing to the pollution of the lake?
Well, we'll start with stormwater. Stormwater is a main contributor. That basically fosters the development of the algae. You're getting phosphorus and nitrogen that's coming from application of fertilizer on lawns and some of the treatments that go onto roofs of residents. And that stormwater leads in here and basically helps develop algae.
Okay. What are some other factors to the pollution?
You've got years, 133 years, 137 years actually, of activity, industrial activity that's taken place around this lake. There are sediments that are at the bottom that have developed over a 100-year period. And in the long run, we need to look at that too, because that actually helps accelerate the algae growth and the water quality overall.
Last question, Steve, is regarding the help you're getting from the state and the county. You need to analyze the science that you're going to get from the county. That's being looked at as well. But the Department of Ecology, have they made any commitments? And I know that Senator Rivers and Larry Hoff from the State House have also committed to finding grants and ways to help fund this. What have you heard from them?
Well, at this point, we haven't got our act together to actually figure out which grants to go after.
Okay.
There is money in the grant pools that the Department of Ecology has, and perhaps even at the federal level. And we're going to look for those grants and try to apply for any that are that would relate to this project.
Right.
And go after them aggressively.
Very good. And what position does the mayor have on all of this?
The mayor is very supportive. Actually, he asked me to step up and lead on it, but he was the one that asked me. I didn't ask to step forward. So he likes the idea and he wants to make it happen, and that's great. And City Council appears to be ready to do it too, so I feel supported in that way.
Senator Rivers, we're here at Lacamas Lake, and it is a very polluted body of water. City administrators have been talking about it for years. Yeah, we need to do something. You've heard people complain about it for years here in the local community. It's been a bad situation for decades, I would say even 100 years. Now, it's just recently been designated as a recreational lake. It had been designated as an industrial lake until February. Now, a lot of things are going on with the city and the county. They're working together on an interlocal agreement to work on finding a way to make this better. But what role do you have? What role does Larry Hoff have? What role does Brandon Vick have? What role does Olympia and people representing us have in helping to get this lake cleaned up? Because it's a real problem.
It is a problem, and the role of any state elected official, be they a House member or Senate member, is to work closely with our local elected officials, the county level, the city level, to look for ways that we can be of assistance. Sometimes it's just reaching out to a state agency and raising an issue to a level that makes them concerned and makes them feel like they need to move to address an issue. Sometimes it's by bringing funding back from the state to help address an issue like the cleanup of this lake. So to that end, I was able to work with the Department of Ecology to find a grant source and have forwarded that information on to the city of Camas for the purpose of giving us a leg up to be able to begin to pay for the cleanup. But what's more is looking for ways to make sure that this doesn't happen again. What good is fixing a problem unless you have a plan to prevent the problem from reoccurring? So those are the things that we're focusing on right now. But I've been in touch with city elected officials to try and get this squared away.
Now, Steve Hogan from the Camas City Council and Gary Medvigy from the Clark County Council have been working together to form an alliance between the county and the city to get this thing cleaned up. Now, Steve Hogan has said that this is a 20-year project. This is a long-term strategic part of the plan to get this thing cleaned up. And so they're going to go through a lot of studies to make it better. And there are local people in Lacamas Shores say they can do certain things pretty quickly to reduce the algae, the toxic algae, and the green water you see behind you. I mean, as of yesterday, there have been dead fish sighted all over through the lake. And so right now, how do our elected officials in Olympia make things happen? How much pressure do they have to put on the Department of Ecology to work with the county, to work with the city?
Well, I don't think that it takes that much pressure. I think when you lay out the case, it's pretty self-evident that something must be done. I think that there are things that the local residents can do. Maybe they don't even know what they can do. I think that there's got to be some education and communication between the local residents, more than just a handful of local residents, and the city council folks and the mayor for sure. Certainly the new city manager should be engaged, and there's got to be a frank and candid discussion about the role that we all play in this, and then we all have to come together and understand when the strategy is developed how our role contributes to the overall success. I don't know about the time frame to solve this problem, but I do know that there are things that can be done in the near term that will begin to diminish the problem.
Why hasn't this been addressed earlier?
So I will tell you, this is the first time I started to hear about this, I think maybe back in May or so. This is the first time that it's really been brought to my attention as a problem. And then when I started to hear about that, that's when I began to engage the local leaders and also Department of Ecology.
Now, you didn't realize it was a problem before that?
No, I hadn't had any contact with anyone about it to raise it to a level that that I thought that I could address.
So no constituents came to you for that?
Not that I can recall.
Okay.
I think I heard from one gentleman maybe in May or so, but we get, literally tens of thousands of emails. But I I don't recall seeing anything
Okay.
about this.
What are next steps then?
So the next step, number one for sure, is to have the city of Camas fill out the grant application to get some money to begin the cleanup. But also, I think that all the partners, including the residents, have to be at the table to sort of develop the strategy and then divide the strategy into actionable items that we can all participate in to move the ball forward and get this lake cleaned up.
It looks pretty bad. I mean, it's very green.
It's very green. I know.